right along here with Henric Carlsson. Someone asked him to turn on his cam and unmute his mic so I can welcome him to the floor. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to share the presentation for Henric today. So Henric, the floor is yours, and just let me know next.
I will do that, Christian. Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to you all, and thank you for hanging out here. And also want to looking on something so important as sustainability in my perspective. I'm working as a general manager in Elite Hotels of Sweden. I am responsible for 2 properties in Malmö, and as well as working as a group head of sustainability and environment. I've been working in hotels in my entire life, 5 years to university. I heard it was many students here today as well, where I have been studying in service management, finance, and also a little bit about corporate social responsibility. I have been general manager for about 10 years now in different hotels, and lately before I also was national group head of environment for First Hotels in Sweden. So I have been working with this quite some years. Well, that's enough for me, and I will now tell you a little bit more about the work we are doing. I will start with a lot of history, and that is because it's important for us where we are today and what we are doing in our hotel chain regarding sustainability. So you can just take next, Christian, please. Great. We have more than 30 quality hotels in Sweden. We are Elite Hotels of Sweden, so we only have hotels in Sweden. And you can say that you can usually be found our hotels in unique and very carefully renovated buildings where each hotel has its own history and character. Our ambition is to combine the classic style with modern trends, and we also really want to do a great guest experience. We say like staying at the Elite Hotels should be something more than just staying in a hotel. And I think many hoteliers have this as an aim. We say we should to provide a complete experience with a sense of tradition, quality, and flair. Those 3 words are our main goals and our key values, keywords. And I will be back to that. On this page, we see Vicky Chakraborty, that it's our owner. He's our sole owner. It begins with Elite Hotels in the 1950s. It was actually the Stockholm Student Union that came up with a very exciting business idea. The idea was to offer empty student rooms as hotel rooms during the summer, and needless to say, it was actually becoming a great success in Stockholm at that time. And the student union earns lot of money to be back to the student life. The organization was run as a foundation until 1980 when it was transformed as a company, and then it was Vicky Chakraborty that was the head. 3 years later, Vicky took over one very prestigious hotel in Malmö, actually, and you could say that the start of a hotel chain has begun. So since 1991, the organization is run under Elite Hotels of Sweden, and Vicky Chakraborty is the sole owner as well for us. Vicky came to Sweden from India as a student and is actually now one of the high-profile persons within the Swedish business life and the art of Scandinavian hospitality business. And Vicky is, of course, very important for us who are working with and for Vicky, and he is very a key thing in his ideas and his aim to do some great guest experience and as well as sustainability. We will speak a little bit further on, so therefore I put this as a great knowledge about us. Just take the next slide, please. That is what is sustainability. Here we see we are working and operate with environmental and CSR issues on all our destinations. Finn told us a little bit about Green Key. We are all hotels certified by Green Key, and Finn told us everything about it. It's the leading international eco-labeling for hotels in the tourist industry. We strive to promote positive and sustainable development in the society and care for our current and future generations to ensure a good and healthy environment. I think you all that are hoteliers need to define what is sustainability for you and what was because it's so important. But everywhere today, I think I hear that, oh, how can this, is this sustainable? Can this be sustainable? Now you should be a sustainable person, you should be a sustainable company, you should be a sustainable hotelier, a sustainable wife, or you need to be a sustainable husband, and so on. What's a part of the elite hotels is actually that our main business idea was in the 1980s to buy and develop quite old tradition hotels in our towns in Sweden. Those were at that point not so popular and was quite run out of date. Everyone knowing the hotel industry, you know that especially in Europe, in the US, it was the highway hotels that was most popular, and new buildings hotels in the 1980s. And the one traditional hotels in the town, you know, like you can call it, especially in Europe, you call it the Grand Hotel in town and so on, was not always the best hotel. It was quite run down and didn't have so high reputation. Because so those beautiful buildings and those beautiful hotels and actually took them and developed them further. So for us, we are a part of the Swedish heritage, and this is also something that we are very, very proud of. When it comes to sustainability, this is not an add-on to our business. This is truly essential because it's to be sustainable. If you're running hotels in 100 or 200 years old buildings, it is a truly part of our business. As we have spoken before, what the other lectures told us, it's extremely fast, and sustainability develops extremely fast and develops at all the time. What was the right thing to do yesterday might not be the right thing to do tomorrow or even actually to today. If we take the next slide, I will show you and tell you a little bit more about the huge difference to have larger of the buildings and to build something new. This is our hotel in Skellefteå in Sweden. Actually, today we had we are very proud to get the Travel and Leisure Architecture and Infrastructure Prize as a Global Vision Awards for elite hotels, and our hotel here. It's a 20 floors carbon positive building, solid in wood. Therefore the name Wood Hotel. And just today to build a carbon positive building and run hotel businesses it's very challenging, but also something that is sustainable in all way. We today also have another project we're working on to build a new hotel that we try maybe not to be so sustainable and not solid in wood, but it's actually the old head office of AstraZeneca in Södertälje that we are developing, keeping the old, a lot of the old structures and old constructions to develop it from office to hotels. So of course, it's far many hotels that got the possibility to build green and sustainable from the beginning. As you look here at the wood, we have solar panels, for example. You have renewable resources, and also everything is done from the beginning. Most hoteliers actually have quite challenging times when you are set in older buildings, and it's enough that the building is 10 years old. Because as I told before, what has happened today, what is valid today is not valid for 10 years ago. Especially today, also, if we speak a little bit about COVID-19, it's a pressure on profit and it's a challenging time overall. And then many hoteliers maybe see that to being sustainable can be really hard time, because it will also cost you some investment. However, even if you got these things, and even if you feel that you maybe are not having the cash to do it for the moment, There are always something you can do. And I just want to add on Finn here, saying if you do, everyone can do a little bit. And if you do a little thing, that is better for the sustainability than doing nothing at all. Please take next picture. We are what you could say a first-class and premium hotel chain in Sweden. We have been awarded as one of the best hotel chains. And as I described before, we spoke about the guest experience, and the guest comfort is our aim, and it's truly essential for our business. We have decided not to compromise when it comes to the guest comforts. Guests should know that we are doing it right to be sustainable in all parts of our operations. For example, we use organic cotton. As you can see, we have changed linen every third day, but we are not telling our guests that you are not allowed to use one of the pillows that are in the room if they want to have two pillows. We are not telling the guest if you are in a double bed, don't use one of the beds. We keep it for next guest. We let the guest decide and to contribute by themselves. They should be rest assured that we are doing the right thing in our operations to be sustainable and to be environmentally friendly. Furthermore, in Scandinavia, typically it's quite popular for hotels to say, and for the society overall, to say what is right, what is wrong when you're staying in the hotels. We are not actually not doing that. We let our guests decide what they want, and then we should provide that in the way they can expect it to be sustainable in all way. What is standard in Scandinavia might also not be a standard international. So, for example, in Scandinavia, we do not provide bottled water as a standard in our restaurants or when you're staying in the hotel rooms. But if guests want bottled water, we do have it, but we can do everything we can to tell guests that actually the water it's quite drinkable here. And it's very good. So you have to try it. Furthermore, we have a small thing that is very popular now in Europe. It's also regarding cleaning of the hotel rooms. A large chain in Sweden, for example, has a brand standard that you as a guest need to tell if you want to clean in the room when staying multiple nights. We have adopted this as well, but we say it's up to the guests to decide and tell us if they don't want cleaning, because we have got that as a standard. So we say that if you don't want to have your room clean, that is okay, and we will not clean it. It's not that you need to tell us that yes, you want to clean it, because we think that is a part of the guest comfort, and I think it's involved the guests much more. And the guests can contribute as well if they want to, but they should feel if they want to have the room clean, we should do it in the most sustainable way as possible. For example, with organic chemicals and also great energy saving machines and so on. Please next picture. Well, I will not tell so much about the green key. Finn told us much about it before. We are, of course, very proud to be a part of this and to have this certification. It helps us a lot to develop and challenge us, giving us something to rely on as well. We know we are doing right because we are challenged by green key every year when we do have the check and documentation. Furthermore, the most important thing is that guests are confident and knows that we can stay with us and be very confident that we try to be as sustainable as we can. Of course, we're also using them and also have seen the United Nations Agenda 2030, and it's really also keep us on track. For example, we do our best regarding the renewable energy. We work with clean oceans and water, and it's also to have in good labor ships and it's quite traditional in Sweden, but it can be much better. We do actually also a sustainable report every year and do it public. We are not on the stock exchange. We are not we have a sole owner, but we are actually doing a sustainable report just to tell the public in our interest what we are doing. And it's some work, but it's also keep us on track and challenge us to be better. We're doing the next picture, and this is for some hotels groups. Maybe you are a few hotels in a group, or you're alone. We are actually working with a decentralized organization. This is one of our key business strategies. And it's fun here, it's actually that it's in our local community, we can do a change, and where we actually have quite a lot of responsibility as well. A thing can be right in northern of Sweden, but it's maybe not the right one to do when you come to the southern Sweden. So as I told before, in most cities, we are the main hotel with the most traditions, and that also comes with the responsibility. We are in some municipalities one of the largest employers as well, and this is an advantage in order to have a local impact and doing a local impact. So we have decided all hoteliers that's working locally, they are responsibility for the social efforts. We have some few projects we do in the chain, but it's up to the local hotel actually to do their own social responsibility and choose organizations to support. So it can be the local sports club, it can be a home for children or women, it can be the church, or it can be a hospital, for example. So we say it's up to every hotel to find where they can change and be local in all way. And I think that it's not it's something quite typical for us in Scandinavia. Furthermore, it's also make it much more fun to work with social responsibility if you are in a hotel and you can really ensure all team members in each hotel are engaged and they want to develop the social impacts with the local impacts, and to keep the local responsibility and also be a part of the social work we are doing on each property. We can take the next picture, please. I think you should, as a hotelier, you work always with continuous improvements. And that is something we are usually doing in both quality and services, but I think you should also adapt it to sustainability. That is what we do. So what you do now, you can always do it better. And you can always challenge yourself every year. And for me and for the team, it gives us a very opportunity to develop and aim our goals and the commitment and empowerment. Many hotels have sometimes just done what they have to do and they are sustainable. But if you don't develop yourself with partnerships or sustainable in overall, you need to be, maybe you will not live in 2 years. You need to have this as a key factor to develop yourself all the time. If we look at the hotel in Skellefteå I spoke about before, the wood, yes, we got some great prices and are sustainable today, but how can we also be that tomorrow? That is so important, just to continuous improvements. We are listening to our guests, and I think that was also something both Claudia and Finn spoke about. That is, it's and the society to see how they have great expectation. How can we develop our product, but also how can we develop our sustainability work? Please, next picture. Thank you, Christian. I think this is something key, quite easy. All hotels can do, even if you have if you are an eco label or certificate or not. It's actually regarding a code of conduct. We are committed to conducting our business activities in full compliance with all the laws, rules, regulations, and strive continuously to improving our social and environmental performance through our entire value chain. We take responsibility for our actions, and we expect our suppliers to do the same. So we have defined it in our code of conduct some basic requirements that could be children's labor, regarding equality, about wages, forced labor, anti-corruption, etc. And we expect all our suppliers to implement the principles described in our code of conduct. And we will of course monitor our suppliers, but this has actually challenged our compliance. And I know that if you are a supplier to us, you can actually, if you fail, we will immediately break the contract and we will find another supplier. So we also, our guests, and especially companies, larger companies, they ask us for how are you sustainable? We need to ask our providers as well, and suppliers, how they are and what they are doing for the sustainability. So I recommend everyone to just set up some few rules that you are really reliable on by yourself, and how to act yourself and ensure that your suppliers act to you. Because if you don't do it, it's maybe you go for price or less or more, and if you know that this is too cheap, yeah, then it's usually something that it's quite wrong. We take the next picture, please. Some few things about food, and I know Claudia, you spoke a little bit about food waste, and this is it's a hot topic, as well as food prices from today. It's actually totally mandatory for us in hotel business and for our hotels, because it's also not only to be sustainable, it's also very profitable if you have this under control. It's of course challenge for our head chef sometimes to choose about organic products or locally produced, because it's not always easy to find a great product that guests are willing to pay for, especially when it comes to breakfast buffets or larger events. I think we in general in hoteliers have a responsibility also to tell our guests that it's not always the price we are competing on. It's also the quality and the perceptions of the guests. Yeah, I'm sure they will make it profitable for us if we do this together, and in general to tell the guests that it's actually this is an organic fish, and it's cost what it costs. Traveling in general has changed a lot, and it's very local right now. You want as a guest to be with the local, you want to eat with the local, you want to stay at local, you like to be like a locals, and it's as well as important as organic. But I think this is something we're really working on with elite hotels, that you should have a local experience. For example, we have regarding coffee. Coffee is very important for Swedes. I think it's just after Finland. Coffee is it's one of the most important things for a Swede, and we really see this as a part of the local society. We have decided to only have the local producers and hoteliers as a coffee provider, because you want in Sweden, you want some special coffee that comes from just that town or the hoteliers next to, and you want to be a part and drink the same coffee as the locals do. So even if maybe we don't get it for the best price, we are sure we can give a local experience, and we can see that guests are of course also willing to pay about this. Use storytelling as much as you can to develop and the services and food offerings. What about to have organic eggs if you don't tell the guests that you have organic eggs? So I think it's a good thing to bring with you as a hotelier. I can take the next picture, please. As Finn and Claudia spoke about, we asked about the climate changes, and they are much larger expert than me about that. But however, you know, and as you speak, it's very critical. You see, everyone who are in this audience today, you see that travelers and companies, they really want to stay eco-friendly, and they want to travel eco-friendly, and they want to feel a part of belonging in the sustainability aim that the hotels are doing. So Finn spoke about guest involvement and how guests can be a part of the climate footprint, and that is the same we are doing. It can be really challenging to start this from the beginning, because hotels are very complex. You need to look at all your operation parts, and but I think that, for example, Green Key, they have a great tool you can use, and I think you can find tools everywhere to do this. Of course, if you also have a third party company to review it, it can be an advantage, of course. I know that customers want to have this, want to see it, and they want all hoteliers to show the climate footprint, and therefore we have to do this, and especially with the Glasgow Declaration, we have to work very hard, and I think it's developed extremely quick and huge. Just try to do it very basic. I think your suppliers can provide you with a lot of information, and I'm sure that resource saving will also give a cost saving. So next picture, please. Just to continue, and our main business in hotels, we are working with people, and people, it's everything, and people, it's both everyone in the hotel need to be involved, because the guests want to involve. They just want to have the linen to be ecological cotton, for example. They want to have the same experience when they come to the restaurant, or they need to have the local food. But of course, they also want to do a sauna, for example, or they want to be in the swimming pool. And therefore, we need, as hoteliers, really see and adapt our services to the guests and try to do it very sustainable. And of course, if the guest wants to have cleaning every day, we do that, of course. And if you want to have more pillows, then we do that. Or if you want to have an individual shampoo, we can do that. But of course, in the way we do it, it need to be so sustainable it can be. And I think also to involve everyone in the hotel operations, because as a hotelier, you know that many of your colleagues and staffs, they have really large and huge opinions about this. And then in the generation, they can really help you to develop your ideas and strategies. We can do the next thing, that is next picture, please. That is, it's our owner now, and daughter Caroline Chakraborty, and actually we saying in Elite Hotels we have a 100-year plan. I think that is quite sustainable, and we say that we are a part of the society. We are giving new opportunities to new members of our society in Sweden, and to young people, and working with entrepreneurships and the travel and journey that Bikku Chakraborty did, but also, well, our owners, he has done it from museums, hospitals in India, for the many projects. Especially, I think it's a lovely part to be a chain, and as a local hotelier, to actually decide a little bit by yourself what you can do for your society. And it's actually a privilege to be kind to the society. And not everyone can do it all, but everyone can do a little. And we have also tried to find some sustainability and social impacts where we can do it when maybe not everyone is doing it. For example, we have one of the large culture awards in Sweden, because bookstores and the culture, it's very important as well, and especially now during COVID. And we think if it's a part of our heritage to also develop this further. And actually, the guests, it's our heart in our business. We really love our guests, and the guests, they love us for most of the time, but especially if they know also that we are a part of the society and we do some donations and support. So it's actually nothing that we have to do. It's just something that we just have to do, and it's a part of our responsibility today to drive a company and businesses. I can take the next picture, please. So just to end up here, Green Key, they haven't paid me to tell this at all because it's an organization, but I would really and truly recommend to work with Green Key as a certification. Of course, we do have it ourselves, but it's a really great partner to develop and challenging us as a company and as an individual hotel. And actually, it's true everything Finn told us about to be more like the support and partner when you do your steps to move and to be sustainable and eco-friendly. And I can just end as I start, and someone else said it's just to start. If you have not started to be sustainable in your hotel or to drive this through or to move it forward, I am sure, because if you don't start now to be sustainable or aim just to do some few small steps every day, I'm sure your business will not be here in some years. And I'm sure that everyone that's working as a hotelier, they will continue to be there in the next 150 and 10 or even 2 years further on. So that's all for me. Over to you, Christian. And
I gotta say, excellent presentation, Henric.